markets are still winning because like right now it's March Madness, y'all. Like this is March Madness. Like people are busy right now. Things are happening in this marketplace. Like there are people moving and grooving, and I know that you guys are reading the clickbait headlines, but I don't know a lot of people that are slow right now. My friends are moving and grooving. You guys are moving and grooving. Clients are moving and grooving. Right? Like things are happening in this marketplace, and I want you guys to see the activity. So, what do you guys? Are you guys like going on more appointments right now? Are you guys talking to more buyers? Write this down. Write this down. If I want more sellers, if I want more sellers, I should be talking to more buyers because sellers are buyers in disguise. Right? Buyers are sellers in disguise. Something like that. You guys figure it out. So if you want to get more listings, you have to talk to people who have the houses. Does that resonate? If I want listings, I should talk to people with houses. Are first-time home buyers going to have a home to sell? In the chat, I'm not that smart. Are first-time homeowners going to have a house to sell? Okay. Interesting. Now, if your niche is first-time home buyers, all good. You know what my niche is? The person finding that right before their forever home. I don't want the forever home client. Why? Because they don't move. My parents are in their house for 30 years. They ain't going nowhere. They don't need to. They're chilling. You can't call my dad and give him any good reason why he should sell his house. Can't. You can't. Unless you gave him like a stupid bucket load of money, which you're not. And my dad does have, you guys remember the 3 pricing strategies, right? You only do aspirational pricing if you have a home that is, the lot is not traditional for the listing, for the neighborhood. My dad does have that. My parents' house has an almost 1 acre lot where everything else is a half acre. And they have a tennis court. So why are we sharing our screen? We're gonna just stop the share. But I appreciate you sharing. I'm not sure what we were sharing because we're already here, but no worries. So you're not gonna make my parents move, but you want that person. Like my ideal client was the person who just found their dream job, right? They just found their dream job. They just moved to Seattle. They were going to be there for the next 15 years because they had a 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. Guys, that 3-year-old ain't moving. Like they don't want to move out of the school district or out of the neighborhood where the 3-year-old has friends. So they are in Seattle as long as they can be there while jobs are plentiful until when? Until that 3-year-old is 18. So they're probably going to do 1 to 3 transactions in the meantime. But they're already successful. They already own $1 million home in California. They've already moved from Austin, right? Rambo just sold their house in Austin. They're sitting flush on cash. And they're like, we want to buy $1 million home. We want to live here for 3 to 4 years, get a feel for the neighborhood, and then we want to step up. And do you want those people to be with you or do you want them to be somewhere else? I want them to be with me. So in order to do that, we have to do something which is called offer structures. All right. So we have to learn how to structure the offer. And so is it cool if we jump into it? Because there's a few components to a great offer. All right. There's 3 transactions with me, baby. There's some components to a great offer. I got to close like 700 tabs. All right. Let's call it 5 components to a great offer. Okay. First thing is money. All right. Money. So write this down. Number 1 is money. Okay. Number 1 is money. Today you guys got to write. I'm going to force you to work. All 57 of you. couple fathoms that showed up in here. Okay, camera's on. Let's go. I want to see your pens moving. Unless you're driving or you're naked, but if you're driving and you're naked, come on, y'all. We want to go viral on TikTok too. Terry's like, no. Okay, fine. Let's do it. Number one is money. We're going to get into these. Okay, money is a little bit different than what you guys think about. Okay, number two, timing and conditions. Number three, okay, the service providers, your partners. Your service provider, your partners, that makes a difference. You think it doesn't to the seller, and let me tell you, the seller doesn't care. But you know who it makes a difference to? The listing agent, who cares immensely. Four is your presentation. In the chat, how many, put a one here if you have a process to present your offers. Put a one if you have an actual written process to present your offers. I don't believe you guys. I don't believe you guys. I don't believe you guys. Thank you, Sarah, for being honest. We have one honest human being. Thank you, Sarah, for being honest. See, your honesty brought out everybody else's honesty. Well, it's not quite written. Well, sometimes I do a little bit different. Well, if the wind's blowing to the east and I'm in the south and I go and I do this, you guys, that's not a process, okay? That's just a mystical feeling that you have. And number five is, right, we have to talk about commissions nowadays, don't we? Back when I was young, we didn't talk about commissions when we were on the buy side because it was just automatically given into the agreements. Correct? But now, don't commissions come up on offers? When you're talking to a seller, don't commissions come up? Sometimes. I mean, I think I like to get paid. I like to get paid. I mean, I think commissions are important. So let's talk about money. Okay? When you think about money, all right, money is a combination of things. So when you guys think about money, right, if you're a listing agent and I say money, what first comes to mind?
How much net proceeds?
I'm dropping water all over myself. My God.
The deposits and due diligence, things like that.
I think
like
that the net
Net
proceeds
amount.
that the seller is getting.
Okay.
How much am I taking home with me? That's my money.
Whole bunch of stuff come up with money, right? So money's a combination. Do you think a buyer thinks about this stuff?
Not as much.
Buyers don't think about this stuff, you guys. Here's what buyers think about. How do I get the lowest price, the best house, and the best possible thing for me? Because everybody thinks about what? Themselves. You're all selfish. Me too. I agree. We're all selfish. It's okay. You're allowed. When your parents were young, they said it's better to give than it was. They lied to you. They lied to you. It feels freaking amazing to receive. It feels great to give, but it feels really good to receive too. They lied to you guys, and I get it. They were doing their best. My parents lied to me too, but it feels good to receive. The seller and the agent want to receive, right? Now it comes down to the actual net, right? The seller's looking at what is my net when they think about money. So under money, right? Sellers are looking for the best combination of the highest price, the highest earnest money, and the most net to them. So when you're working with the buyer in your buyer consultations, and I know all of you guys do, liars, just calling you guys out today. I hope you all leave the room because I'm calling you out. I can't make you guys leave. I try to make you guys leave. You invite your friends and more people show up. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Money, right, needs to be talked about. So when you guys are out there working with a client, right? You guys have these things called contracts, right? Now we're going to call it an agreement, right? And everybody's agreement's different. So we're going to just write it out because I don't want to hear, well, Vic, mine looks different and mine looks like this and blah, 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 blah. So we're just going to write it out here. And you're going to have a line, and this one's going to be for your name, right? Because this is a purchase and sale agreement or whatever they call it in your market. So one thing's going to be for the name. There's going to be a date somewhere, right? There's going to be the seller's name, right? They're going to ask for an address. And then there's going to come a line that says something like offer price, something like that, right? And there'll be a money sign, right? Money sign's probably on the line, and you fill that in. $1 million. I like to use big numbers when I role play. So for you, if you're already in the million, you might want to put 4 million. If you're at 5 or 6, 700,000, you might want to put 1.2 million. I like to put the numbers that I aspire to get to. If you're at 4 million, you should put 8 million. Let's just make it 9. That's easier. Okay. I just like to manifest this stuff to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I just know if I stick around long enough and I keep writing contracts at $9 million, I'm going to start selling stuff at $9 million. Especially when we talked about earlier. I like to go after the buyers that have kids, that own a home, or they're going to be buying multiple homes. Like in my market, it was not first-time buyers. Our clients, 2-3 houses purchased in their life. They moved around. They'd kind of gone through the rankings. They've been recruited by multiple companies, and now they're at the company where they're going to be at for a while, right? They're at a position where they don't need to bounce around. They got a big project they're working on. They're going to be there. One of my clients helped build, what was it called? Skype, the original Zoom. Yo, those cats were lit with money. Oh man, like those kids were lit with money. I'm like, bro, why are you buying a $600,000 foreclosure? Like, why are we buying a short sale? Why don't we go buy like a $3 million mansion in Medina, like next to Billy? And he's like, no, Vic, we're not that flashy. He didn't say we couldn't afford it. You guys hear the difference? We're not that flashy. He's like, look at my beat up old Honda. I'm like, I know, bro, let's go get you something lit. Let's go get you something fly. No, Vic, I'm good with my Honda. I'm like, fine, let's just get you a bigger house. Can we go to $1 million at least? No, we only have one kid. Oh, man. He never once said we couldn't afford it. Those are good clients. Those are fun clients because eventually they're going to move into something nicer. And when they do, I want them to remember that we went through this offer in our buyer consultation the first day we met. Because I didn't really care about what their home was that they were looking for. Because let's be real. Most of my clients sent me the home they wanted to see faster than I sent them the home they wanted to see. They're getting e-alerts from Zillow and Realtor and Redfin and all the different companies that are way faster than the MLS was shooting stuff out to them. Why? Because they just saw it first in their inbox, right? They just saw it. They just saw the MLS first. Like my website, they saw that after they were looking at all the other stuff. So like the first thing we need to do is we need to have our offer price, right? And then underneath there's a thing called earnest money, correct? Now, if you're in a competitive market, what kind of earnest money do you guys want in there?
Three to 5%.
How much?
3 to 5%.
3 to 5, but that's a lot of money, Edwin.
Yes, it is.
Well, that's a lot of money, guys. Edwin, are you in a competitive market?
Mm-hmm. Highly.
A lot of multiple offers?
Last week, I heard of 2 that one was 12 and one was 14.
How many?
And 12 offers and 14 offers.
I have had 20 offers also. Oh, no.
Put
It went
from-
put the max of offers you guys have competed on. Put in the chat. Guys, put in the chat.
No,
Put in the chat. What's the maximum offers you guys have competed on? 43, 56, 40, 16, 5, 15, 13, 5, 18. You guys, I bought nail boards to stand on during these calls. And now I take off my socks to stand on them. Oh my Jesus. So if you see me squinting, it's not because my stomach hurts, it's because my feet hurt. I'm standing on nail boards, all right? So no socks either. Like, man, you gotta man up, dude. I gotta man up. So 57 one time. So do you guys think that, like, when there's that much competition, we need to have the strongest offers possible? But Vic, the buyer consultation's so long, I couldn't read it. I've been looking at it for the last 62 months, and it just doesn't go in osmosis into my brain. I don't want to do the work. Okay, that's fine. I don't care what you guys do. But if you don't follow the process, what happens to your buyers when there's 16 offers on the table and they say some crazy ass shiz to you like, well, we just want to see what happens on the next house. What happens on the next house, everybody? Are there
Price
more
increase.
price
Well, that's
increase?
good.
And what happened to the other 15 buyers? Did they just get shot by aliens in Eden?
No.
They still need a what?
A house.
Oh my gosh. Well, sure, we can wait and see, but I think we all know what's going to happen. But here's the thing. Do they know what's going to happen? Okay, this is why we spend time with people. You guys don't have to do it. You're fine. You don't have to do it. So I would say we're going to put down a minimum of 5% for earnest money.
Because that's the max a seller can keep.
No, that's a misconception. I'm glad somebody said that.
Really?
Oh, you guys want my bonus brain? You guys want the bonus brain here? I think 10 of you need to leave right now. Come on. You either need to turn on your cameras or come on, you guys. Let's go. I'm going to give you some shizzle right now. Traditionally, the law will only, right? If there's a dispute, the law will typically say that what's reasonable and fair is somewhere between $1 to 5%. But if you make your earnest money a non-refundable performance deposit to be delivered to the sellers at the time of acceptance, what happens?
All money is gone?
They get to keep it all.
They get to keep it all. Need to go find some of my old offers. We never lost. 52 offers. Oh, I can't wait. Hold on. Let me crack my knuckles here. Oh, I'd sit down with the buyer. I'd stand up. I said, hey guys, there's 37 offers. Their faces would turn white. And I would do a little stretch at my office desk. They'd be sitting in front of me. I said, all right, you guys, are you warmed up? I'd pull my legs up and I would do a knee stretch. I said, are you guys warmed up? They look at me like I'm on drugs. I do some push-ups. I said, are you guys warmed up yet? And they go, why? So remember when we sat down at the same desk 8 days ago? Now, if you guys are spending like weeks and weeks finding people houses, I don't know what you're doing. Remember when we sat here 8 days ago and I told you that the first house we see is going to be the house you love? And you guys told me I was crazy, and I told you that the first house we see is going to have about 100 offers on it, and you guys said that's not going to happen. And I said, and we're going to have to pull out all the stops, and you said no. And I remember when I went over this exact agreement, and I have it in their file, and I pull it out, I said, now is game day. And then we go back, and I look at the file and the chart, right? I said, let me look at your chart, not the file, because doctors do what? They look at charts. So let me look at your chart, and I go back to the reason why they wanted to buy homes in the neighborhood and how important it was. We call that the what? in the chat.
Arching,
Overarching
arching, goal.
goal. And I remind them of the pain that they've been through. And before we write the offer, we go back through the pain of losing. And we talk about all the things that we need to discuss first before we put pen to paper. Because the minute we start putting pen to paper, do we go emotional or logical?
Logical.
We go logical. And once we're in logic, what happens? Is it easier to get them to go back to emotion or harder?
Harder.
Extremely hard. Extremely hard.
So we bring them to the emotion. I bring them to their knees, and then I tell them how we're going to win the offer. Because on the drive from the house to the office, who was I talking to?
Listing agent.
Other than my mom, because, you know.
The listing agent.
The listing agent.
And what do you think I was doing with the listing agent?
Getting
Asking
all
him
of
how many-
the,
Asking what's important and how you can structure this to win.
I was building a relationship with them.
Yep.
Because at this point, I probably already talked to the listing agent twice or thrice. And so now I'm cracking some jokes with them. We're playing hot potato. We're playing guessing games. Hey, what's in the Easter egg? Help me out so I can help you out. I'm telling them about how great my team is and my partners. And I'm selling them on wanting my client to win. Because do you think my client was financially more stable than the other 87 offers? But do you think that they've worked with crappy agents? Oh, yes, they have. So I just start building doubt. Hey, out of those offers, how many are from Redfin? Hey, out of those offers, are there any discount brokerages in there, like no name, mom and pa's? Hey, how many of those people called you prior? Did they send you their contact info? Oh my gosh, how many of these people have other jobs and they're doing this on the side? Oh, Vic, it's horrible. Tell me about it. And they tell me about it. I don't talk about me, I let them talk. So what are you looking for in an agent? Kim, what are you looking for in an agent? And she starts telling me. And I just go, why is that important to you? So if you had an agent like that on this house versus the one you had on your last house, how would your life be different? Do you guys remember some of these questions from training? I just keep using the same ones over and over. Guys, I'm not smart enough to think of new things. I'm just a dummy. Just repurpose the same package. So now the agent wants me. So now when we're sitting down and I'm texting the agent, do you think he or she's responding to my texts? So I say, hey, where do I need to be? We know it's not $1 million. We know it's not going to be $1 million, right? That's the list price. So we know it's not $1 million. So where do I need to be? Well, Vic, I can't share that with you. Well, technically, isn't it the job of the agent to get the best offer that's going to close? Think about that for a second. The job of the listing agent is to make sure that he or she gets the offer that has the highest net to the seller and the highest likelihood of closing. Which means, as a listing agent, I am supposed to figure out this stuff. Because have we been in offers where the highest offer backs out? And now we're back on market with a failed sale? I've had it happen. I was a listing agent and I had a buyer try to back out on me. Oh, you never seen Vikram more pissed off. Kept it together in the last 30 seconds, but it was hard. And we vet the shizzle out of our people. So the job of the agent is to help get the highest net and the highest likelihood of closing. So when they say, well, Vic, I can't tell you that, I'm like, well, I'm just trying to get your client the highest net with the highest probability of closing. So if you help me, I can help you. And what do you think they say? Well, that makes sense. Because doesn't that make sense? And then they just start opening up more information. I'm like, so where do we need to be? Like, well, I can't give you the exact number, but I can give you a range. Does that work for you? Okay. So number one is money. All right. So when you talk to your buyer in the consultation, in the buyer's consultation, where you don't just talk about what they want, you talk about your process to help them win houses, not write offers. Because what does the everyday average agent do? Write offers. What did Triz agents do? Win houses. Who likes winning houses more than writing offers? Yeah, me too. Okay, second thing, time and conditions. Time and conditions. Are we more concerned in a multiple offer situation? Because markets are heating back up, you guys. If you don't know that, like, now you do. Buyers are out in frenzies right now. Time and conditions. So when you sit down with your buyer during the consultation, there's going to be some lines that say closing. There's going to be some lines down here at the bottom which are contingencies. There's going to be a line that says possession. My contract's just getting longer and longer here. I'm just adding in addendums, just quick little addendums. They look like smiles. So again, whose timeline does the buyer think about when they're thinking about offers?
About them.
They're thinking about theirs. Well, I have a lease until August, so I want to give them the longest closing. So I have the least amount of blah, 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 blah. Well, we're traveling to here. Well, we're doing this. We're doing that. It would be super inconvenient for this and that, blah. Maybe this isn't the right home for you. No, this is the right home. Okay, well, we need to table that, and we need to talk about what's best for who? The seller. This is what you talk about for 15 minutes if you need to inside of the buyer consultation. If you need to spend 5 or 10 minutes to go through this with your people, do it. It will pay off. The Obi-Wan Kenobi will pay off, I promise, right, Chris? This is a good use of your time, agents. So we have closing dates, we have possession dates, we have rent back periods, we have a paid rent back, and we have a free rent back. I hope you guys are writing this stuff down. Now, this isn't legal advice, so whatever your state doesn't allow or allows, you guys, like, do your own research. My state didn't allow us to make the earnest money a non-refundable deposit until I started bugging my broker, be like, yo, why can't I just give them like 50 grand? It's like, well, why would you do that? I'm like, because then the seller is going to want my offer more than the other 8 offers that are just as good as mine. He's like, but you're not protected. I'm like, well, protection doesn't always work. We're not attorneys. We're here to get our clients what they want. So we came up with language. When I was back at Windermere, we came up with language with our attorneys. You might need to do the same with your attorneys, right? This isn't legal advice. I'm just telling you what we did. Contingencies, do you waive them? Do you do pre-inspections? Do you get your buyers underwritten and pre-approved, right? Do you get your buyers to be good as cash? Do you have them transfer their cash so that it's in a vault waiting for when they find the right house? These are things you talk about during the consultation, not during a home showing where they're looking at the beautiful backyard and you're trying to have this conversation because you didn't want to book an appointment because Zillow told you to just go show doors and open houses. Well, just do a single home, what's it called? A single home agreement with them. And if they like you, that's not how you do business. That's not how doctors don't do that. Attorneys don't do that. Why do realtors do that? Because that's what the industry has taught you. It's not your guys' fault, but if you know better, you do better. Okay? So what contingencies? Are you an attorney state? God, you guys attorney states, go file for petitions. That is like, horrible. Do you waive your inspections? Do you waive your disclosure forms? Do you waive like all these different forms? Can you even waive them? I don't know. I'm not an attorney. Look at me, like I barely got my pants on right. Standing on nails over here. Like, I'm not the person you take legal advice from. The person who helps you win structure deals, though. Comes to real estate, I will structure a deal that it's hard for a seller to say no to. Okay? What other things do you guys need to think about?
Buy out their furniture and all their old supplies that's sitting at home. Make them an offer.
Guys, you don't know how many deals I've had where the buyers were like, well, we want the furniture. And I'm like, why did we not talk about this in the buyer consult? Furniture is a personal belonging, but the house looks so good with it. I know. That's why they're taking it to their new house. Like, you want to buy it for 10 cents on the dollar, and they don't want to buy brand new furniture that they just spent 200 grand on 4 years ago. So we need to talk about furniture. Tools in the garage. You know how many men want tools that don't belong to them? I'm like, y'all, that's like a woman saying she wants the purses in the closet and the shoes because they're a size 7.5. Like, trust me, we added those to our buyer conversations. I'm like, would your wife ask for the shoes in the house? She's like, well, probably not. I'm like, so why would you ask for the tools in the house? It's like, because, man, those are good tools. You don't even use tools, bro. You don't even know how to. He's like, yeah, but I would feel so good coming home to that beautiful, like, Mac tool set. I'm like, you never know what a Mac tool is. He's like, I looked it up and Snap-on's good too. And I'm like, oh, God, we're going to lose the dream house over a set of tools that you don't want, just so you feel good when you pull in your old crappy Honda. Do you think we should talk about this stuff? If you have an area where you're equestrian, if you have homes that have views that can be disturbed, if you guys are in well properties, if you guys are on septic systems, right? These are contingencies that you may or may not want to have in the property in the offer, right? But if you don't have the conversation with your buyer and the repercussions that could happen afterwards, you might lose the deal. And whose responsibility is it to make sure that the buyer knows everything, good and bad? Is buying a house a little bit more than putting a picture of a happy family with the big ass key and the keys hanging on Instagram? But what do buyers think what do buyers think? You just show up, you write an offer, bada bing, bada boom, you get a home and you're done to go, right? My dad asked me, you guys, no joke, my dad asked me 10 years ago. He's like, you know, son, you say you work so hard, but you just made $42,000. I was like, yeah, it was a lot of work to negotiate that deal. He's like, but what'd you actually do? I was like, well, first we beat out 17 offers. He's like, oh, that took like, what, a couple hours? It's like, that's a lot of brain power. He's like, I don't know. I think you guys are overpaid. And then I sat down and I showed him what we do. And he was like, huh, there's a lot that could go wrong in buying a home. I'm like, how long have you guys been in this house for? He's like, a long time. It's like, there's a ton that could go wrong. He's like, huh, who would have figured? Smart dude. Who would have figured? He's like, huh, who would have figured? There's a lot that can go wrong. I was like, this is why realtors drink. Good so far? Is this valuable? Yeah, Jill's 100% right. Jill's 100% right. When you go show homes to people, they don't want to sit down with you because they now made you a glorified door opener. If you don't do a buyer consultation or you do the basic one that they teach you out of most boxes, most teams, you guys, I've been around the block. I see what people are saying and doing out there. If you don't do a buyer consultation that actually provides value and information and scares the living shit out of these human beings to do it on their own, I don't know what you're doing with yourselves. You are not a glorified door opener. That is what Redfin does. We did not open doors for people. That's what people with no skills do. I'll tell you, this market's hard as crap, is it not? Less transactions, more agents. I don't know. Okay, so we got contingencies. Do we waive them? Do we approve them? Like, what do we do with them? Are we an attorney state? How do we get through that faster, right? How do we get through all that stuff faster? Now, you're going to have a line, right? And it's not going to call it services, but it's going to be like, who's our partners, right? Who's our partners? Title, escrow, or attorneys, right? Do you think your loan officer, if you're getting loan, is important? Some of you guys work in market where you have a lot of foreign money. F-O-R-E, is that how you spell foreign money?
Yep.
Where is it? I had to learn all this stuff the hard way, you guys. Like, I had to learn about foreign investment money that was tied up because it's coming from China. I'm like, well, no, that can't be. It's just money. Like, can't you just wire that shit over and put it in the bank? Nope. There's like all sorts of rules and flags. Well, my money's in India. Okay, so just tell your uncle to go to the bank and send it over. Well, it's not that easy, Vic. What do you mean? We had to learn all this stuff the hard way. Well, we have RSU income. What's that mean? Doctors have different programs. Accountants have different programs, right? All these different professional industries. Do you guys deal with a lot of ag? Do you guys deal with a lot of like, what's it called? FHA. Do you guys have, what's the one for service people?
BA.
VA. Thank you. Who said that? My gosh, how did I forget that?
I did.
Thank you. Do you know the different financing people, right? Do you know who's a quick title and escrow person? Do you guys know that we had a deal? You guys probably had this too, right? So I'm not the only one that's got crazy deals. We had a deal where the money got transferred late and this happened and that happened and the seller wouldn't give us an extension because they had a better offer on the back end. And my buyers started fudging around. They gave us one extension and the money was coming from different sources and it was here and it was there. And it's like, oh my gosh, right? Stuff we didn't know about. We just didn't know about all this stuff, right? Because we didn't ask. So now we're 40 days in and the seller's like, I'm over these people. They're not closing. The wire showed up late. It's crazy, whatever. Something didn't happen. My escrow, right? My escrow team, right? I can't remember what her name is, but my escrow team, she drove, need to knows, from downtown Bellevue in rush hour traffic across the bridge to Seattle to drop the paperwork off. She got there as the woman's pulling the door down. Like, you can't make this stuff up. We're sitting there sweating the whole time. I'm like, so do you want me to run points and like I'll just take my car and just like tank through everybody? She's like, I got it, Vic. And I'm like, I think her name was Amy. Amy, what's her last name? Anyways, awesome woman. 457, no call. 458, no call. 459, no call. 503, call. And I'm like, ah. How do you tell these people She's like, Vic, you owe me dinner and a bottle. I'm like, what? She's like, done. I'm like, how is that humanly possible? You were an hour away on a normal day with traffic like this on a Thursday afternoon. She's like, don't ask, but it's done. She's like, you owe me dinner and a bottle. I was like, done. What kind of wine do you want? I'm on my way to the wine store right now. What do you want? She's like, don't worry about it. Just keep sending me business. And I'm like, no, for real. It's like, I'm on my store way. She's like, go give that to the clients. Our whole team was just like, wow. Call the clients. Hey guys. Oh, we didn't get it. Yeah, I mean, I gotta tell you, we gotta meet at the house. They're like, why? We didn't get it. I'm like, because somebody's got to give you keys. And they're like, oh my God. I was like, next time you guys buy a house, can you tell me where the money's coming from, though? They're like, Vic, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. Buyer consultation. Do you think these people matter a little bit more? Your title people, your escrow people, the loan officers? Let me tell you, we started to go really hard in the paint when we were a listing agent. When they said we want to use our title and escrow people, I said, yeah, I don't think so. No, but we got great title. Yeah, I don't think so. Is your title person going to leave everything and drive to Seattle if something hits the fan on the day of closing at 4:30 and break every traffic law known to human? I don't know. Mine is. So can we just go ahead and put her name down? Wait, what happened? Yeah, I don't have time to get into the story. I'll tell you later. After we close the deal, we'll go get some champagne. But until then, like, we're using my people because they go the extra mile for us. Do you think that it's important you tell that story to the listing agent of why you want to use your team? But you don't tell it to them when they have 97 offers on the table and they're going crazy. You tell it to them when you're driving, getting information about how to structure your offer. Your partners matter. All right, let's get into the meat of it, the offer presentation. Present. So how do you guys write, like, how would you guys want, if you're a listing agent, to get an offer? Like, what do you want to see? What are some of the things you want to see? A lot of glitter. Tiffany, can't take you anywhere nice. What do you guys want to see?
You mean when it's all presented and everything, when they're presenting with it?
Yep.
Yeah, I want to see everything thorough. You've got all your documents in proper order. Things are broken out. I don't want one big PDF file of everything because that's just not helpful to me. So I like it all in a front email that explains things and gives a little bit of what to expect. I just like it organized, neat, and good communication.
So
I also would like to see who is the agent.
Yeah, if you guys don't know who the agent, if you're sending offers and the agent doesn't know you by the time your offer goes in, like, shame on you. Bad agent. If you guys have new agents in your office or people, like, tell them why they lost. You lost because I don't know who you are. You had a great offer, John, but I don't know who you are. And if I don't know who you are when you're sending an offer, do you think it's going to be hard for me to know who you are when I need something from you and we're on the 1 yard line with 3 seconds left? I'm sorry. You lost because you didn't pick up your phone and call me. I'll give them coaching. I don't mind. Not a jerk. So number one, you need a cover letter. Okay? You need a cover letter. Now, I know what you're about to tell me. And again, I play in the gray. This is not legal advice. Figure your own shit out, people. A lot of guess here. You guys are like, this dude's a crazy monster. A lot of guests here. If you guys are a guest and you want to join me for more of these fun decks, let me know on Instagram, because I'd love to have you guys. Because I like to do things a little differently. So we do a cover letter, but it's a buyer's. What do we call it? Somebody, buyer's. What do we name it?
Love letter.
No, can't send a love letter.
Qualification letter.
It's a buyer qualification letter. Because wouldn't you guys all like to know who's writing offers on your properties? Wouldn't you like to know their job, their income, their finances? Like, would that be helpful for you to know that? Remember, it's the job of the listing agent to what? Make sure the house doesn't fall apart. It's the highest and best offer that's going to get the seller the highest net and the highest probability and likelihood of staying together. So most people are going to stray away from this, and that's fine. I am not an attorney. If you guys have not heard that, again, I'm standing on nails. Most attorneys don't do that. You should talk to a smart person. First paragraph, buyer's qualifications. Who they are, where they work for, and what kind of money do they make? What kind of assets do they have? You don't necessarily need to go into full detail, but you want to go into enough detail that they read section 2. Section 2 is where you talk about what the buyer appreciates, not loves, appreciates about the home that the sellers have done. This is where you bring in a little bit of the love. Oh, my clients really love the fact that it's in the nice neighborhood because of safety. They like this. This is why they're not backing out. This is why they're offering what they're offering. It's a justification of the offer. The reason my clients are willing to go so far and above is because of these 4 bullet points. Bullet points are logic, but you can write them in an emotion. Just saying, I don't know. I mean, I'm just putting shit out there. And then the 3rd paragraph, you talk about yourself and your strengths and why you're not going to make the listing agent look like an idiot like some of the other people in the world. 3 paragraph. You probably just need a template that you use every time. I don't know, guys. I'm just making this shit up right now. I'm just making this shit up right now. Okay? Just making this shit up. You guys just ignore everything I'm saying right now. So now you've got the qualifications on the front page. You got the buyer qualifications. Everything's bullet pointed out. Who the lender, the buyer, the price, the contingencies, all of the terms of the contract are spelled out in the first 2 pages. The buyer's qualifications, their finances, the things that are going to make sure that they're not leaving the home, right? They're going to stay in to win it. Again, we gave earnest money up right out of the gate, 95% of the time. We gave a lot of earnest money, 5 to 10% down. We gave directly to the seller right out of the gate. Like, our offers were bulletproof. Funds were approved, underwritten approval, all of that stuff. Edwin, the lender, would call the agent and leave a voicemail or send a text with like a little video. I think we went to text with the video. Hey, Edwin, I know you're probably super busy over there. You guys think I scripted it for them? Of course I did. Hey, Edwin, you're probably super busy over there. This is Vikram Deol's lender for John and Christy Patel. I just wanted to let you know that they're qualified for more than this home by leaps and bounds, blah, 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 blah. Hey, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Here's my number and my contact below. I'm going to send it in a separate text. If you have any questions, I will be available for you till 7:45 tonight. If you need me, send me a text if it's urgent after that. Gangster, right? Because do you think the agent wants to talk to a loan officer for 15 minutes? No. You probably should have had the lender call or drop that message a day or 2 before. Even if your people decide not to write. just making shit up, you guys. I'm just making shit up. So now we got the bullet point offer on the front page. We got our buyer qualification letter. I like everything in one PDF because I am very lazy and I don't want to open multiple files and I always was on the go. So however you like it, just go ahead and ask the agent, hey, so when I send over the letter, do you want me to have this broken up into like sections or do you want it all in one file? Most agents I talk to are a one file agent. You are the one rare person, that's okay. You are the rare one and we all have our rare moments. I'm standing on nails. You do you, boo. So just ask the agent how they want to see the offer. Because some agents are going to want to see it hand delivered to them. And you carry that shit over. Some people are going to want to see it in an email. Some people are going to want fax back in the day. I don't care what they want. You figure it out. And you do what the agent wants. Because when you're presenting, you're not presenting for you, you're presenting for them. Fair? Is this good?
Mm-hmm.
I do have Venmo and I do accept PayPal for our guests. So you have to talk about how you should present. You guys, the reason we do this is because when you talk to your buyer in the consultation, right? Now, for those of you guys who are not a part of Triz, you don't have this verbiage. But when you talk about offer presentation, you're going to say, so would you agree you would want your agent to present the offer the way that the listing agent would want it instead of just in a standard format that may or may not piss them off? Yeah. Would you want your agent to go above and beyond to really craft the offer to make sure that the seller knows exactly who you guys are and why they should pick you when there's 37 other offers? Well, yeah. Why is that important? Why do you feel like that'd be important when there's 16 other offers, 27 other offers you're competing against? And the fifth thing you guys got to talk about is the commission, right? The fifth thing we got to talk about is the commission, right? You got to put the commission out there because what is the seller looking at? Net. So we got to have commission in the conversation. You got to put it out there. It's on page 1 of your offer. It's right there under your bullet points, what you guys are asking. You got to put the conversation up. You can't hide it under the rug and just expect for it not to show up. So like that's a conversation you have with the seller, the listing agent. Hey, on this particular transaction, are you guys willing to pay a fee? If you're smart, you're going to say the seller is willing to pay a fee based off of terms and price. So put your best foot forward. And if you're in the running, we'll let you know. And if we need to make some tweaks and we need to call for highest and best because there's a couple of close ones, we'll let you know. Okay, so if we put in a $25,000 commission, my clients have no problem paying anything as long as it makes sense for them to do so. And it's not going to jeopardize the deal. But I'm going to put what I'm asking for in those bullet points. Because don't you think that's important part of the offer? Because doesn't that affect the net to the seller? Isn't it important to kind of try to figure out what the seller is comfortable with? You guys, if you probe and clarify on a listing agent, they'll tell you, like, what do you, like, you guys have obviously had the commission conversation. Are they leaning away or towards some kind of a number? Yes, they are. Would you share that with me? Kind of hot potato, cold potato? Can we play the guessing game? Oh, Vic, I'm not supposed to. Hey, I might not even be in the ballpark with what our clients can offer. All right, let's do it. When you talk to your prospect, right? You have to talk about all of these things. You have to talk about commissions. You have to talk about pricing. You have to talk about the market. You have to talk about the offers. You have to talk about how pricing happens. You have to talk about market dynamics. You have to talk about waiving contingencies. You have to talk about all of those things that could go wrong. So many people say, hey, Vic, how do I make the presentation shorter? I say, you probably go sell wedding rings. Because my dad, who's pretty effing smart, was like, huh, go figure, son. Buying a house is more complicated than I thought. Nobody's ever walked me through all these things that could have gone wrong. I was like, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I wish somebody would have. And guess what? That was 10 years ago and nothing's changed. Isn't that some crazy stuff? Because agents are still lazy and they're still trying to cut corners, but not you guys. So was this helpful? Do you have a takeaway you can put in the chat for me? It's really more for my ego. I just want to make sure that like the stuff I make up on the fly is still flying. Like I just no notes, you guys. I'm kidding. For those of you who actually read the buyer consultation, you'll see that this was actually right there on page, right there under section number 13, offer structure, the 5 components. If you guys want to join us inside of Triz for all of our guests, so many guests today, so many guests, so many clients, so many guests. I like the idea of sending the video from the lender. What else? Cover letter. Yes. What else? Pressing to use your team. Yeah. Make sure you got a badass team though, y'all. Like, make sure you vet the shit out of your team. Like, that's good. You guys didn't like how we go over talking about money? None of you guys like the first part of it where we talk about money? Right? Money's a combination of price, earnest money, commissions, so that the seller takes the highest possible net home and the one that's the most likely to close. Consultation, expectations, money, earnest money, right? There's a lot packed in here. There's no way you're going to understand all of that by listening to it one time where I'm flying at rapid speed. I try to go slow for comprehension because it's a lot. But you probably want to watch this one a couple of times. It's going to make a huge impact in your business. It's going to make a huge difference in your business. Your buyers stop going from like looky-loos to actual qualified. This is a qualified buyer, not them getting a letter from the lender. Just so you guys know. This is what you qualify. Because now they understand what it takes to buy a home. A letter from the lender doesn't make them qualified. That's what you think qualified them. This is a qualified buyer. Now we figure out the next steps. All right, y'all. Gotta go. Appreciate y'all being here. Go drop a comment somewhere, tag me, and tell me if you guys appreciated this and you want more content like this. Just so that I remember to continue doing it. Have a beautiful day. Sell houses, change lives, follow a process, and crush it.